All right, we'll get started. My name's Taylor Riley. If you're looking, you can be able to see my picture right there. I'm a mortgage consultant with U-First Credit Union. I've been at the credit union for 10 years. I've worked in the credit union setting for nearly 20 years. I have a lot of time doing this and going through everything with people, so I like to use that experience that I have gained over time to be able to help people. My email address is listed there along with my work phone number. Feel free to be able to give me a call at any time or send me an email at any time. If we need to schedule a time to be able to meet, or we can be able to do that. The best way to be able to do that is send me an email, or and to schedule a time if you'd like to do that, or you can just give me a call. If I'm available, I can be able to answer. I do like to block out my schedule so that we can make sure that we're giving you the appropriate amount of time and get you taken care of. So there, my contact information, we'll go through this at the very end as well. Today we're going to talk about why you should use U-First Credit Union to buy your next home. Over the last 10 years and before, we've really fine-tuned how we help people with the home buying process. One of the things that I think that we do a fantastic job at is that we, as mortgage consultants, do a really good job of asking questions and listening to what your primary goals are, what your secondary goals are and tertiary goals are, so that we can be able to find the right product for you. In some situations, it's not all about what the lowest rate is. Sometimes it's about what loan's going to have the least amount of fees, because this may be a short-term loan. We want to take our expertise and products that we have available here at the credit union. We're very fortunate that we have not only regular products that other lenders may have, but we have internal products that can be able to help people and make sure we're getting them into the right situation for what they're trying to do now, or setting them up for goals so that they can be able to accomplish what they're looking to accomplish in the future. All of our underwriters, our processors, closers, everybody is in-house here at the credit union. People always say that they want to go local. We are as local as it gets. Everybody working here at the credit union is in the state of Utah. We service a lot of our own loans, so you'll always make payments to us. I really enjoy that feature so that we can be able to be a one-stop shop for anybody. If somebody does a mortgage with me, there's really no reason that they should ever call anybody else at the credit union to take care of anything. They should contact us, myself, and then we can be able to get them taken care of rapidly rather than going through any sort of phone tree or anything like that. All right, I love quotes. First quote, "An idiot with a plan can beat a genius without a plan," Warren Buffett. And this is absolutely true. Having a plan for what you're trying to accomplish is very important. Far too often I find that people, especially within the mortgages, they'll get a little bit too quick into something. They will get a little bit too ambitious, and they can run themselves into problems. And they can also, they forego certain aspects that might have been available to them if we had planned a little bit better. So we're going to talk about successfully navigating buying a new home in this market and how it comes down to staying in front of the curve. Very first thing is, as much as we can stay in front of the curve is going to be able to help with that. And so here's 4 steps to help achieve this. Oh, we got a little bit more than 4 steps. I added a little bit more information there. So, so here are some of the mistakes that we see buyers make when they fall behind the curve. So they start Googling information. I love to Google things. Everybody loves to Google things, but when people start Googling things, especially with mortgages, you have to be really careful, because if you Google something with mortgages, you're not going to get a lot of stuff that's going to be within the last couple of years. If you look at the dates on the articles or anything like that, they usually stretch within a 10-year window on page 1 or page 2. So there's a lot of things that change in the marketplace, and this is a completely different marketplace than it was 2017. So you have to be aware of the information. People become overwhelmed and they quit. They also find misleading information, which makes correct information harder to acknowledge later. So that might be an example of this is a bridge loan. Bridge loans were something that were very big in the early 2000s. It's not a product that you see very often. There's different ways that we have to go about it. But if you're dead set on getting a bridge loan, it's really going to limit you on what you're capable of being able to do. So there's different ways that we have to do things than they used to when those bridge loans were available in the late 90s, early 2000s. The perfect home comes on the market without being prepared. This one's hard, I know, because the perfect home just always seems to pop up without notice. However, if we have a plan to be prepped, we can easily be able to help with this. Let me give you an example with this. So if you have an individual who owes $100,000 on a home that is worth $1 million, they've got $900,000 in equity. They're in a wonderful position equity-wise. If they will find a home that's, let's say it's $1.25 million, and they look at it and they're like, okay, if we could be able to sell our home, we'll have a new mortgage on this property, on the new one of about $350,000. That's something that we can be able to accomplish. Well, while that is true, when we're looking at the equity portion, until you sell your home, you don't have access to that equity without some sort of product being in place. And the biggest thing that we run into with people who are looking to buy a new home in this situation is the down payment. If you're anything over the conventional loan limit of $800,000, the loan requires typically 20% down. And so we want to talk about the details of it, because like a $900,000 home, 20% is going to bring them below the $800,000 mark. So we want to talk about the details, but with a $1.25 million home, 20% would be required to purchase that home. Off the top of my head, 240 and change, 260, 275. When we're looking at $275,000 in cash that you have to have down, that can be difficult for a lot of people. But if we thought ahead of the curve and possibly got a home equity line of credit on your current home, setting that up, even though we don't have to use it in the event that you don't end up moving, it's something that could be able to be there to help people. So if you're ever having a conversation with yourself or with your spouse and you think that you might want to do something in the future, this is where we need to have a conversation so that we can be able to open more doors and have them available for you to walk through in the future. The third one, people think that they can qualify for more than they can because they're financially comfortable. Rates are increased right now compared to where rates were during the pandemic. A lot of people were very smart to set their finances up with extremely low rates or get everything paid off due to the influx of possible cash that could have been there. And people think that they can be able to qualify for a lot more because they're very comfortable financially. This is not always the case in the current marketplace with where rates are at and with how much they can be able to qualify for with their current, the way their debts are currently constructed. And so this is something we can be able to talk to them about, how we can be able to make what they're trying to accomplish a reality, but it may not just be as easy as 1, 2, 3. The other thing that can be able to happen with that is that sometimes people will co-sign for their children or co-sign on loans. I had that happen today in between these webinars. I was helping an older gentleman with a refinance, and he co-signed with his grandchild and totally forgot to tell me about that. So there's a $3,000 payment that's on that on his credit report that he wasn't anticipating. Those are things that we have to overcome to make sure that we can be able to help people. So we want to make sure we have a conversation and talk about all the details with that. People don't realize the cost of a new mortgage when combined with their current debts. And so a new mortgage payment, they can be a lot higher than what people have been used to, especially with rates of where they're at right now. So that's something that we need to combat to make sure that we're going to be in a good spot. Somebody finds a home before financing is placed due to a good preliminary conversation with a mortgage consultant. We can be able to go through and see how much you can qualify for, excuse me, without pulling credit. We can be able to talk about your income. We can even verify your income with pay stubs. And we can be able to go through and see exactly where you're at. But until we pull credit, we don't know exactly for sure what may be there and what may not be there. The other thing is that it takes time to be able to pull credit and do an application. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do to make sure we're in the proper steps that we need. Just because we had a preliminary conversation doesn't mean that we are good to go on everything. We want to make sure we take the proper steps to be able to get you taken care of. The last thing, people don't realize the experience or knowledge their real estate agent and mortgage consultant have to help them. So a lot of times people will wonder how they're going to do X, Y, and Z, where this is something that we do every day. If you have a real estate agent that you use on a regular basis or have a relationship with them, have a conversation with them. If you need a referral, we can be able to give that. If you don't have a mortgage consultant that you've worked with in the past, you can just call the credit union. There's 4 of us. We'd love to be able to help you and go through. You're more than welcome to call me and we can start to have a conversation, even if it's pie in the sky. Taylor, I'm thinking about doing this someday. Let's have a conversation about it so we can be able to start to educate you, see exactly where you're at. It's very easy to be able to go through everything and tell you some steps that you could be able to take to definitely make sure that you're putting yourself in a better financial position. Sometimes it's better to pay off debt. Sometimes it's better to have more down payment. Just depending on where you're at, we just want to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do to be able to help you out. All right, we're going to talk about tools real quick. James, it looks like we might have a question there. Nope, not yet. Okay, so tools. You want to use your tools to make something beautiful. When you think about all these things that we have in the world that are gorgeous to the eye, people just didn't do it with their bare hands. They had to have some sort of tool to be able to help. So we're going to talk real quickly about the tools that are available to you to be able to help you. So the first is going to be a mortgage consultant. I think any time that you are thinking about buying, selling, doing anything with real estate, you want to look at the finances first. The reason that you want to look at the finances first is that we want to make sure that we've got everything in place to be able to help you out. We want to ask questions. We want to find out what your goals are. We want to discuss your options with you and all the different things that might be available for you. Right now, I'm helping an individual who's buying a plot of land, and they're going to build a paintball facility on that piece of land. So when we first started having a conversation with it, we looked at a bunch of different avenues that we could be able to do this. And the easiest avenue wasn't even to look at all the different avenues. It was really the first thing that we looked at. But we wanted to make sure that we could be able to take care of everything with the plot of land that he was looking at. So we just want to make sure that we've got everything taken care of that we need to, even if it's a little bit outside of the box, to make sure that we've got the right products for you. How much do you qualify for? I know I've talked about this a couple of times, but it's very, very important to be able to look at all of the different types of income. Do you have income that you're not using right now that we could be able to use? Do you have IRA income that you're not using? I had an individual who is not receiving their Social Security, and there's something that they were going to start to receive in 3 months. I asked them why they were waiting. They said, there's really no point in waiting. We can be able to set it up right now if we want to. And so we were able to increase the income via Social Security. There's a lot of different things that we can be able to do with the help with the income. I also had another individual recently where he was thinking about retiring from the University of Utah, and so he wanted to move first. Well, if he knows he's going to be retiring and he's going to have a massive decrease in income, we need to use the income that he has today so that we can be able to get everything set up. So he wanted to wait next year to buy his mother's home. We decided that would not be a good idea because of the income aspect, and we were able to get him taken care of. If he hadn't talked to anybody, he could have put himself in a situation where that wasn't an option due to the decisions that he was making with his retirement. So we just want to make sure that we can get everything taken care of for you. We can use the current equity in your home for a down payment. I talked briefly about having a home equity line of credit. It's an underutilized option. There are no costs to be able to do a home equity line of credit most of the time here at the credit union. Let's talk about the ins and outs of it. But if you're possibly thinking about buying a home in the future and want to transfer that equity at the time of purchase, a home equity line of credit is a wonderful option to be able to take a look at. So we can be able to prepare for the future. As I talked about opening doors, you don't necessarily have to walk through those doors, but we just want to have them open and available rather than when you get down to the situation, there's only one door that might be available for you and that may not have the best terms. What loan is best for what stage of life you are in? So as I talked about earlier, sometimes the rate is not as important as the closing cost depending on your situation. We've had quite a few people who are a little bit older who are looking to go from home A to home B, and there's enough equity in home A to be able to pay off in home B, but they want to secure home B first. So we want to take a look at those situations and what we can be able to do to help them out. There's a lot of different ways that we can be able to go about it. We just want to make sure that we're finding the best route for you. Just because there's equity available in a home doesn't mean that the loan product allows us to be able to tap into that. There's guidelines and loan to value that we need to take a look at. So let's find the best product for you. Okay. The next thing is going to be your real estate agent. After you talk to an individual, a mortgage consultant, the next spot is going to be your real estate agent. You want to talk to them about a few different things that how they can be able to help you. You contact them because it's a tool that you can be able to have in your belt. Once again, they have a level of expertise and they're helping you in a couple different ways. One, selling your home. The second, buying a new home. If you just want to buy the new home and turn your current home into a rental property, they can be able to help you with that aspect of just looking at the purchasing aspect of the new home that you're moving into. So how do I search for homes? That's something that can become tedious for people. A lot of a lot of real estate agents will have CRMs to be able to, they can put you into that where it can be able to send you homes that fit within your parameters so you're not constantly looking on MLS or different stuff like that. They can be able to target your what you're looking for to be able to help you so that they can be able to come in when a new home pops on the market or there's been a decrease in value. They can be able to show you those homes. They can also talk about your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. Is it realistic for what you're looking for? I want to be in this area. Well, the median home price in that area might be $880. Well, I don't want to spend more than $600. Well, there you could be able to get that because in this pocket of in this area, there's this pocket where these homes are a little bit smaller, possibly a little bit older, and they may fit in that. That's something that a real estate agent can definitely be able to help you with. What is the best way to mentally get ready for a home search? They can be able to help you with what you can be able to expect depending on your price point. Something that we saw very frequently during the pandemic was I was going to have to overpay over the list price of the home. I feel like that's gone away for the most part. We still see it if it's a really, really good home where you could have multiple bidders for a home, but that's not the norm. So they can be able to help you with what they're seeing now, what's happening with buyers, with homes being on the market for a little bit longer, and those types of things. What if I'm buying and I'm selling? How can the agent be able to help with that? If you're buying and selling, and a lot of people will be like, I want to put my home on the market, and I want to get that under contract before I make offers on other homes. Some people want to make offers on homes contingent on the fact that they're going to sell their home. So they can be able to talk to you about that situation and how it's going to be best to be able to set that up. When you're going to look at homes, depending on the home that you are looking at, may dictate how you are going to take care of that, because the sellers will, they're not going to accept your offer unless your home is on the market and stuff like that. So they can be able to help you navigate through there. What is the current value of your home? An agent can be able to help you with what they think that they would list your home at. They can be able to talk to you about the comparables in your area. They have access to all of that stuff. That's not something that a mortgage consultant has any access to, so they can be able to help you with those sorts of things. What are the projects that needs to be finished on your home? So every home has projects that need to be finished. What are going to be the most important projects for you? What are going to add the most value? What are going to add the most curb appeal? Those are things that an agent can be able to help you. I think every spring it's important to talk to an agent. If you're somebody who says, I'm going to put X amount of dollars into my home, I would call my agent and have a conversation with them to be able to decide what I want to do. Do I want to put a $12,000 steam shower in? Well, if I'm not planning on being in the home for more than a few years, it may be more important just to put a regular shower in for $3,000, $5,000 and save that money and put it elsewhere. Obviously, you need to decide if the enjoyment that you have from the item is going to be there, but those are things that they can be able to talk about to be able to help you out. I know a few years ago I asked what the most important thing, or what is the biggest return on investment that you can be able to get. I always thought that it was a kitchen, and they talked about how a garage door and a front door can be able to give you 100 to 125% return on investment. Those are things that you could be able to do if you're thinking about doing that could really be able to add value and add curb appeal to your home. What projects need to be finished? Did I just go over that one? Yeah, I did. What are cheap and effective ways to increase the curb appeal on your home? Could be just paint, could be some stacked stone on the home, could be a walkway, could be a plethora of things. Agent can definitely be able to help you with that sort of thing to be able to give you some direction. Do you need to declutter? If you're thinking about selling your home in a shorter period of time, possibly decluttering might be an important thing to be able to do. They can be able to help you get your what the vision would be of getting a home ready so that you can be able to start to get rid of some stuff. You could start to move some stuff into storage or those sorts of things. That's where an agent's really going to be able to help you maximize to be able to get your home sold for top dollar and as soon as possible. This right here is a website that the credit union has. We do a joint venture with an agent by the name of Derek Power at Exit Realty. You can be able to use this. This is on our webpage. You can be able to use this to be able to search for homes. You would sign up and Derek would get in contact with you. We would know that you had signed up, but this is a wonderful tool. A lot of times people don't like to put their information into something where you're going to have a dozen agents or so giving you a call. This would help you avoid that, but this is a really good home search tool to be able to help people here at the credit union. You know who's going to be contacting you, getting your information. You can also state that I don't want to be contacted as well by a phone or anything like that, so that you can be able to search for homes and it's not going to be invasive to you. All right, after you assemble your team, now that you have your real estate agent selected, you have your mortgage consultant selected, we can talk together about accomplishing your goals. I could have 10 different people that have a goal of buying and selling a home, and each agent would want to do it differently from what they've seen to be able to help you accomplish your goal and what you're trying to do. And so we want to talk to them about how we can be able to help. We want to add value to your offers without it just being the absolute highest price. So if we can be able to close in 17, 18 days to be able to get you under contract and save you some money, we can be able to do that. So there's a lot of different ways that we can be able to add value to your contract without causing an issue. We also want to look at a calendar and find out about the holidays. If you're somebody who's making an offer on a home and you need a 3-4 week window and it's around the 3rd week of January, we're possibly going to be able to we're hitting 2 holidays in that time frame. So we just want to make sure that we've got everything set up properly, so we're going to avoid any pitfalls up front where we're making promises that we can't be able to keep. Those are all things that can be able to help you when we talk to the agent about how we can be able to take care of this. The other thing that we want to do is make sure that we're all on the same page of how we can be able to help you with the title company, with the agent, with the mortgage consultant. We're all a team just here to be able to help you so that we can be able to get you taken care of. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes with an agent and a title company and a mortgage consultant. We want to make sure that you're comfortable with everything, that we know we're working in your best interest to be able to get you taken care of. All right, now that we've done all of that stuff, we're ready to do the financing. We've got the plan in place. The easy part is to have you apply so that we can be able to get you pre-approved. We cannot give you a pre-approval letter unless we pulled credit. A lot of times people are concerned about us pulling credit. We can be able to have conversations to be able to find out how much you qualify for before we do that, but we can't give a pre-approval letter until we have pulled credit. We have your credit score on file for a lot of our members here at the credit union, so there's tools that we can be able to use to be able to help with that sort of stuff. However, to actually get the pre-approved letter, we need to do the application. Once you fill out the application and get us the income, if it's regular W-2 income, shouldn't take more than an hour, hour and a half for us to be able to get a pre-approval letter. But we want to make sure that we have a conversation about everything beforehand. If you've got bonus income, commissions, a lot of overtime, you're a variable pay employee, sometimes we need to order stuff, a verification of employment from your employer, and it can be able to take 2-3 days to be able to get it. So we have to look at all of those situations to make sure that we get you taken care of, just setting up realistic expectations so that we can be able to meet the time frame that you're looking for. All right, after we've done that, it's time to start shopping. We get the pre-approval letter done for you, and then you can be able to start to do your shopping for your home. Our applications, or excuse me, our pre-approval letters, depending on the product, are good between 60 and 120 days. Most of them are going to be good for 120 days. A lot of times people will ask me, Taylor, what happens if I don't find a home within the 120-day window? That's okay. We can be able to repull credit if we need to, so that we can be able to verify that. Credit is meant to be pulled. I know that part of the score is how many inquiries you have, but if we're only pulling credit 3-4 times a year, that's going to be okay for you. So if we need to repull credit, we can be able to do that. Just make sure that we've got everything ready to go for you, get you taken care of as soon as possible. Another good thing is that we can be able to stay in touch with you and get updated pay stubs as we're going through. So that'll just help us to know when you make an offer on a home. I like to call the seller's agent and have a conversation. I like to tell them that we pulled credit. We have verified income. I just actually got updated pay stubs, so we don't have to get any additional documentation there. We've gotten the state that we need for the down payment. We're all ready to go so that we can be able to do a very, very fast close if we need to, but really give the seller's agent reassurance that we've done all of our homework prior to. There should not be any problems, which all agents really care about, especially when they're selling a home, is that they're comfortable that the buyer is going to close. So if we can be able to give that reassurance, then it's going to make your offer stronger. And once again, that's something that doesn't cost any money to be able to do. Any questions from anybody? Question that we have, do we lend outside the state of Utah? No, we do not lend outside of the state of Utah. Utah is the only place that we can be able to lend. Dollar amount, what's the highest dollar? I don't know what the limits are that we could be able to qualify for. A 3 million, I think, that we could be able to go up to. We have lots of products to be able to help people in all different categories, to be able to get them taken care of on the dollar amount. So no matter what situation you're in, we can be able to help you and get you taken care of on those sorts of things. Looks like there's a question that we got right here about duplex. Can we be able to help people with multiple units? Absolutely. We can be able to help people if you're looking to purchase a property that's got more than one unit in it. We can be able to take a look at it. We need to pull up a tax notice and stuff like that, but we can definitely be able to do that homework prior to, know exactly where we're going to be. In the past, rates have been significantly higher for a duplex than they are for a single-family home. I actually looked at this the other day, and the rate was only about an 1/8% higher. So the rates on the duplexes are really, really good if that's something that might be available for you. Okay, if we got any other follow-up questions, go ahead and send those in. Once again, my name's Taylor Riley. My information's right here. We're going to be sending out an email to you with a copy of this. If you have any questions, feel free to be able to reach out to us. As I said, there's 4 different mortgage consultants here at the credit union. We stretch all the way from St. George to Bountiful. So if you need anything, feel free to be able to reach out to us. If you want to set up an in-person meeting, we can be able to do that. If you want to set up a phone meeting, we can be able to do that. We can do Zoom as well. I know that I am more than happy to be able to meet with people, even if it's after hours a little bit via Zoom. We can be able to take care of that. We want to be as flexible as we can to be able to get you taken care of so that we can be able to get the information into your hands. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. We appreciate your support and also your participation today. Have a great day.